Hello and a very good afternoon. It's 1 p.m. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. It's time for Verdict 2015 with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this afternoon's Verdict headlines. Record polling in the fourth phase of elections in Bihar. Over 57% voters exercised their franchise. High voltage campaigning continues for phase 5. Prime Minister Modi holds a rally in Purnia, says the Congress has no right to talk about tolerance at 1984 riots. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will also be holding 3 rallies today. Election Commission issues notices to Amit Shah, Rahul Gandhi and Lalu Yadav over remarks during rallies. EC says comments a violation of Model Code of Conduct. And we throw the spotlight on the Matsyagandha lake in Saharsa. The lake has dried up and is fast becoming a forest. But with only one phase remaining for the Bihar elections, campaigning is heating up in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a rally in Purnia a short while ago. He spoke about the attack on the BJP over intolerance. Modi said that the Congress has no right to talk about intolerance after the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. He will be addressing 2 more rallies in the state today. The Prime Minister held 2 rallies on Sunday at places going to polls on the final phase on November 5th. On the other hand, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will address 3 rallies. The rallies will be held in Araria, Purnia, Amor and Katiyar Korha. Campaigning for the final phase will end tomorrow. 57 constituencies and 9 districts will go to polls on November 5th with a total of 827 candidates in the fray. Counting of votes for the state polls will be held on November 8th.
कस्बा से भाजपा के बच्चों की जिंदगी, इंदिरा गांधी जी की हत्या के दूसरा दिन, तीसरा दिन, चौथा दिन दिल्ली में, हिंदुस्तान में सिखों का कत्लेआम चल रहा था, कत्लेआम किया जा रहा था। कांग्रेस पार्टी पर गंभीर आरोप लगे थे, कांग्रेस के नेताओं पर गंभीर आरोप लगे थे और आज उसी 2 नवंबर को कांग्रेस पार्टी टॉलरेंस पर भाषण देने लगी है। नीतीश बाबू, लालू जी, आपकी क्या मजबूरी थी? आप तो दोनों कांग्रेस के खिलाफ लड़ते रहे हो। 40 सीटें दे दी, 40 सीटें।
Well, joining me for a chat this afternoon to talk about this is senior journalist Nikhil Anand. A very good afternoon and thank you for joining me on the program. You know, the Prime Minister and the BJP clearly seems to be on the defensive on several of the issues, but also what they are doing is that they are taking the attack to the Grand Alliance.
Frank, basically you are right. BJP has slightly pulled in the 3rd phase and 4th phase, and they have gained a little confidence to go for all make or break in the 5th phase. Prime Minister today, he was defensive on several issues, but he was in a way attacking, taking out references from the history, like he quoted 1984 Sikh riot and all. You see that in the 5th phase, still after 4th phase, no party is having any decisive lead, and slight is which Grand Alliance was having in the after 2nd phase, it was diluted in the 4th, 3rd and 4th phase. And BJP has slightly taken lead. And if you take reference of 2010 Assembly election and 2014, BJP has little edge. But in the 5th phase, BJP wants to slightly go for communal polarization, which may benefit the NDA alliance. And here BJP is still very cautious in making any issue. So, of course, Prime Minister is a bit defensive, but he is more on attacking mode taking references of history and attacking Congress more, and just because it's a minority domain in the Simanchal area. Yeah.
You know, what's happened as far as the NDA or the BJP's campaign in Bihar is that, it has evolved with each particular phase. They have not just stuck to one particular style of campaigning, and, they've changed their tactics for each and every phase. And that's been very, very evident in the kind of speeches that have been made and in the kind of posturing also that we've seen over the last 1 month, isn't it?
Frank, you are right. Here you see that after third phase, and when the third phase campaign was in the process, BJP slightly started giving a tone of communal tone. And by the time third phase was over, in the fourth phase and fifth phase, BJP again raised the communal issues and tried to polarize because they have... because if there is a communal polarization, they were of course to be gainer. So here I see that BJP tactics and whole strategy with reference to the election is not one, because Lalu and Nitish has been continuously campaigning on a two-way front. Nitish Kumar on one side has concentrated on development and constantly presenting himself as one who has taken out Bihar from the dark age, and he has brought Bihar on path of development. But Lalu Prasad Yadav has snatched the ball from the BJP mouth by taking reference of constant. He is making an issue out of reservation and caste and all. And this has simply gone well among the Dalit OBC masses. And here one thing again, that EBC, we are still not very sure that how the EBC and Dalit votes are being divided between the both alliances. Indeed. And here is the problem, that no poll pundits are basically able to predict which way the election is heading, because you know that upper caste minority votes as well as the Yadav, Kurmi and Kushwaha votes, which way these particular votes are going, everyone can assess. But the EBC and Dalit votes, which forms the 40% of population of Bihar, is still not very sure, and the poll strategy, the way they are voting is different in every constituency and district. There is an area-wise strategy of polling is visible. Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Do stay with us, Nikhil. I'm going to come back to you on the other side of this break, and after a couple of other stories as well, to get your reaction on something else that we're tracking here on Verdict 2015. In the meantime, of course, the Election Commission has issued a show cause notice to BJP President Amit Shah as well as Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and RJD Chief Lalu Prasad over their comments during various rallies in the state. The Election Commission show cause to Shah was over his comment that if the BJP loses Bihar, crackers will go off in Pakistan. The Commission said that prima facie the statement has the potential of disturbing harmony and aggravating the existing differences between social and religious communities. Shah has time till 3 p.m. on November 4th to explain his stand. Show cause notices have also been issued to Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi and RJD Chief Lalu Prasad. The Election Commission notice to Rahul is for the comment where he said that the BJP makes Hindus and Muslims fight each other. The notice to Lalu Yadav is for his reported remarks dubbing BJP Chief Amit Shah as a cannibal and that he has also gone mad. Well, the Election Commission also referred to Lalu's reported remarks against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in which he was described as a vampire. The two have been given time till November 4th to file their replies.
इलेक्शन कमीशन से सर आपको शाह को और राहुल गांधी को नोटिस मिला है भाषण के
जवाब देंगे
4 दिन पहले
जवाब दे देंगे।
अमित शाह ने जो कुछ बोला है ठीक बोला है, गलत बोला है उन पे ठीक आपने नोटिस दिया है, लेकिन राहुल गांधी ने क्या गलत किया है? कौन सा बयान गलत दिया है? अगर कहा है कि देश के अंदर इनटॉलरेंस बढ़ रहा है तो इस पे आप नोटिस जारी करेंगे?
पहली बार देश के किसी प्रधानमंत्री को मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट का वायलेशन करने के आरोप में नोटिस दिया गया है। जो शर्मनाक है। बड़े पदों पर बैठे हुए लोग भी अगर व्यक्ति कानूनों का पालन नहीं करेंगे तो इससे समूचे देश में एक गलत संदेश जाएगा।
Well, on that note, it's time to slip into a short break now, but much more lined up for you on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Today we will discuss the Supreme Court judgment on Section 66A and why it was struck down from the Information Technology Act.
I personally feel that 66A was a sword hanging on the heads of every citizen of this country.
Political dissent, informed views, high level of communication, which is the bedrock of an open and democratic society.
The funny thing is that new laws are being created to restrict our freedom as opposed to grant us greater freedom, which is what you would expect from a maturing society.
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, the fourth phase of polling took place in Bihar on Sunday. Over 57% turnout was recorded in the 55 constituencies that went to polls in this phase. Here's a detailed report.
The penultimate phase of elections in Bihar saw voters turning out in large numbers. Over 57% voting was recorded in the 55 constituencies on Sunday, the highest of the four phases. Polling was largely peaceful, barring a few minor incidents of violence.
Fourth phase of general elections to Legislative Assembly of Bihar passed off peacefully, barring few minor incidences. Average is 57.59. For last assembly election, it was 54.
Voters queued up at many polling stations even before they opened. As the day progressed, the pace picked up.
हमारा मुद्दा यही है कि लोगों को रोजगार मिले और विकास हो।
महिलाओं की सुरक्षा है कि वो चाहिए, बिजली है, पानी है, हर चीज की सुविधा चाहिए।
Enthusiastic first-time voters waited eagerly to exercise their voting right.
बहुत उत्सुक थी। कल से मैं सोच रही थी कि कौन से पार्टी के लिए वोट देना है। सिंस मैं यहाँ पे रहती नहीं, मैं स्पेशली वोट देने के लिए बिहार आई थी।
काफी उत्साहित है, उत्साह के साथ हम मतदान करने आए। सुबह से ही यहाँ पे आके लगे हुए, लगभग 1.5 घंटे से हम आके लाइन में लगे हुए।
The fourth phase covered 7 districts and was significantly the most crucial of the parties. In 2010, the BJP won 26 of the 55 seats, while the JDU emerged victorious in 24. Lalu Prasad's RJD won 2 seats. 3 seats went to independents. But the scenario changed this time. For the Grand Alliance, the RJD fielded candidates in 26 constituencies, followed by the JDU in 21 and the Congress 8. From the NDA, the BJP fielded its nominee in 42 seats, the LJP in 5, and the HAM and RLSP in 4 seats. With the completion of the fourth phase, voting has been completed in 186 seats. The final leg of polling will take place on 5th of November for the remaining 57 seats. Ravinder Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, still with me on the program is senior journalist Nikhil Anand. Nikhil, how would you analyze the situation the polling on the fourth phase that took place yesterday? 57% or over 57% voter turnout yesterday as well, and a huge sizable chunk of female voters again even yesterday. So how would you analyze yesterday's polling?
Frank, yesterday the voting percentage was very commendable, and you see that in all the phases of election, almost taking cue from the last time, it has increased 3% to 4% or 5% votes. So it is good. And one thing that when we analyze the whole scenario of election, where the polls have been conducted, it is just with the reference of 2010 election and 2014 election. But this time really the equation is very different. And just because Nitish and Lalu coming together and the way the reservation issue is raised, there has been a great excitement among the OBCs, and of course reservation is a issue of sentiment. So I see that the OBCs are largely polarized in this phase also. When we say that BJP has an edge, it is with reference to the 2010 election. But I don't see any reason if RJD, if Grand Alliance makes a comeback to come for a tie in this phase also. But one thing, the whole assessment, we are, while making the whole assessment, we are confused because we are not able to really assess which way the Dalit votes and EBC votes are going. My analysis is, on one side there is an aggressive upper caste, and on another side there is influential OBC conglomeration, and in between the EBC and Dalit voters are simply feeling a bit sandwiched, and they are not able to come out openly to say whom they are voting. So with reference to the social equation present in different constituencies and different areas and districts, they will find a very compatible social alliance, and they will go into voting that particular alliance where they feel it is socially viable and suitable for them to survive. So this is largely at the core of Bihar society, the feudalism, the impact of feudalism, the nostalgia of 80s and 90s where massacres took place. It has charged the whole social equation, and it was the pattern. It is not actively visible, but the nostalgia is still gives an impact to the voting pattern. Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Nikhil Anand, we'll have to leave to that. Thank you so much for putting things into perspective for us and sharing your expertise on this very subject as well. Moving on now, nearly 2 decades ago, the 2-kilometer-long Matsyagandha lake was dug out in Saharsa at considerable cost. Today, it has dried up and become a forest. Surprisingly, when the Chief Minister toured the place in 2011, he not only declared the lake to be in good health, but also announced plans to make it a national-level attraction. The voters are now seeking for an explanation.
This is the face of Saharsa's Matsyagandha Lake today, completed in 1997. It was inaugurated by former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad. Although it's hard to believe it now, in the initial days the lake attracted tourists from adjoining areas and even neighbouring Nepal. Less than 10 years later, the broken boats became a regular sight here. The rainwater that fills up the lake evaporates in no time in the summer heat.
घूमने के लिए आए थे, सोचे यहाँ मत्स्यगंधा बहुत अच्छा जगह है घूमने वाला। यहाँ आने के बाद तो देख रहे हैं कुछ भी घूमने वाला नहीं है, तो पूरा खंडर बन गया है।
प्रशासन, सरकार जितने भी आए, चाहे केंद्र का हो चाहे राज्य का हो, सबने सहरसा के लोगों को ठगा है।
The BJP blames a lack of will on the part of the government for the state of affairs. Local authorities have their own set of explanations.
इसके लिए दोषी हम लोग हैं, जो शहर के सौंदर्यीकरण के लिए शहर कैसे विकास करे, कैसे आंध्रा से मछली नहीं है, हम यहाँ पे उसका उत्पादन करें।
मैं भी जिला प्रशासन के निगाह में इसको अवश्य लाऊंगा और प्रयास करूंगा कि यथाशीघ्र इस पर यथोचित कार्रवाई करते हुए मत्स्यगंधा झील को का सौंदर्यीकरण का कार्य पूर्ण किया जा सके।
Elections are a time when old problems are subjected to a fresh review. Voters of Saharsa expect that is what our next government will do to bring back their lake of life. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
It's time for a short break now, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, will the Bihar election see an outright victory for one of the two alliances, or will it be a tight finish for the contenders? Whatever be the outcome, the NDA allies are hoping to turn in a credible performance. Our correspondent Vishal Dahiya caught up with one of them, Upendra Kushwaha, whose party, the RLSP, is contesting 23 seats. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Hello and welcome to our special presentation on Bihar Assembly elections. With just one phase of polling left in this state, the political parties, their leaders and star campaigners are now engaged in a high-pitched campaign to try and convince the voters to vote for their respective candidates. Today, we'll take you on a campaign trail with Upendra Kushwaha, Union Minister and President of Rashtriya Lok Samta Party, a key ally of NDA in this battle for Bihar.
The Rashtriya Lok Samta Party, led by Upendra Kushwaha, is a key constituent of the NDA in the state at this time. It is contesting 23 seats. 5 of its candidates are in the fray in the 5th and final phase. In addition to canvassing for its own candidates, Upendra Kushwaha addresses over a dozen rallies seeking votes from his community members for candidates of his allies, the BJP and the LJP as well. The first stop was a public meeting for the BJP candidate from Benipati Assembly seat in Madhubani district.
अभी तक इन्हीं लोगों के हाथ में आपकी तकदीर को बदलने का दायित्व था। आपके साथ इन लोगों ने न्याय नहीं किया। अभी भी घूम रहे हैं और फिर से अगला 5 साल मांगने के लिए आपके बीच चल रहे हैं। मित्रों, हम कहना चाहते हैं उनकी बातों में मत आइएगा।
Not so long ago, the RLSP president was a key member of Nitish Kumar's party. He separated just before the last Lok Sabha polls.
राष्ट्रीय जनता दल के लोग लगातार बड़ी संख्या में आ रहे थे जनता दल यूनाइटेड में और सरकार के विभिन्न पदों पर लोग बैठ रहे थे। वैसे लोग जब नीतीश कुमार के अगल बगल आने लगे तो मुझको लगा कि नीतीश कुमार जी जिन कारणों से लालू जी से अलग हुए, सारे लोग जब यहाँ वही आ जाएंगे तो कैसे भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ हम लड़ पाएंगे। इन्हीं कारणों से मुझको लगा कि अब नीतीश कुमार जी के साथ अगर रहेंगे तो न तो कार्यकर्ता के साथ न्याय होगा, न बिहार की जनता के साथ न्याय होगा। इसलिए वहां से हमने अलग रास्ता अख्तियार किया।
Upendra Kushwaha was once considered to be a close associate of Nitish Kumar. However, having parted ways with his erstwhile mentor, the RLSP chief now leaves no opportunity to launch salvos at both Nitish and his newfound ally Lalu Prasad Yadav at his public rallies.
व्यक्तिगत रूप से मेरा कभी भरोसा लालू जी के ऊपर नहीं था, कभी मेरा भरोसा नहीं था, लेकिन नीतीश कुमार जी के ऊपर जरूर भरोसा था। हम लोगों ने भी सोचा था नीतीश कुमार जी आएंगे, बदलाव होगा, लेकिन क्या हुआ 10 वर्षों के शासनकाल में? बड़े मियाँ तो बड़े मियाँ, छोटे मियाँ तो और सुभान अल्लाह निकले।
Targeting women voters, Kushwaha accuses Nitish of spoiling the youth through his liquor policy.
मित्रों, गली गली में, टोला टोला, मोहल्ला मोहल्ला में शराब की दुकान खोल दी। नीतीश कुमार जी, शराब की दुकान खोल करके आपने बढ़ता बिहार नहीं, डोलता बिहार बनाने का काम किया है।
Although both alliances claim development as their main poll plank, Kushwaha doesn't mind talking about issues that have been at the center of controversy all through the election campaign.
The controversial statement given by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat on the issue of reservation had given a lot of ammunition to the leaders of Grand Alliance and created trouble for NDA in the initial phases of assembly election in Bihar. With most of his support base being from the backward castes, the RLSP chief Upendra Kushwaha does not lose any opportunity to give clarification on this issue.
लालू यादव जी जहां भी जा रहे हैं सभा में आपको बरगलाने की बात करते हैं, जहां भी जाते हैं सभा में बोलते हैं हम आरक्षण को नहीं समाप्त होने देंगे। अरे भैया, आरक्षण समाप्त कहां हो रहा है कि आप घड़ियाली आंसू बहा रहे हैं।
But if there is one issue that seems to make the RLSP leader a little uncomfortable, it is the BJP president's recent remarks.
बिहार की जनता को ऐसी बातों से कुछ लेना देना भी नहीं। बिहार की जनता नौजवानों के लिए रोजगार का इंतजाम होगा कि नहीं होगा, किसानों के खेत में पानी पहुंचेगा कि नहीं पहुंचेगा, लोगों की गरीबी लाचारी बेबसी से निजात मिल पाएगी कि नहीं मिल पाएगी, यहाँ लोगों का ध्यान है।
But voters seem more concerned about issues like the price rise and education facilities.
हमें चाहिए कि बिहार में शिक्षा और बेरोजगारी का दूर हटे और बढ़िया से बढ़िया सरकार बने।
चुनाव में जो है सो कहे कि हम बहुत सस्ता कर देंगे सब वस्तु, और सस्ते के बदले जो है सो इतना कितना महंगी जा रहे हैं कि दाल जो है, हाँ दाल कहाँ चले गए, प्याज कहाँ चले गए,
सब्जी इतना महंगा कर दिया, गरीब लोगों को थोड़ा देखना चाहिए नरेंद्र मोदी को।
With just 23 seats, Upendra Kushwaha doesn't get into the game of who will become Chief Minister if NDA is voted to power, perhaps realizing that it will all depend upon his party's performance when the votes are counted on the 8th of November. With camera person Junaid Khan, Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it on this edition of Verdict 2015. Have a good day.